Welcome to the Creative Roller World podcast. I'm so excited to be here with Sue Bryce. Thanks for being here.
Yay, thanks for inviting me.
Well, I'm so excited to interview you. I was driving around with my friend in Canada a couple weeks ago because I was at an event, and my friend Paula started talking about photography because I asked her what she wanted to create, and she's like, I want to be a legend like Sue Bryce. And this was I'm like, wait, I'm interviewing her next week.
So cool.
It's so fun. So I'm so excited to have you here today to just talk about your creative journey and how you've built an amazing life being a creative entrepreneur.
Creatives, yeah.
So my first question for you is, living a creative life, it's a choice, right?
Yep.
You decided to step into this career. What was the thing that got you to that point where you said, I want to?
So I didn't finish high school. There was no college. There was no go and get a job career. There was nothing like that. I was 15 years old and I was just bouncing around like community programs, design, graphic design, hair and makeup. And I started working at a hair salon when I was like 17, and I was like, this will be my whole life. And I didn't want it. I just didn't want that. So my mum said, come and work for me until you work out what you want. And she was retouching for professional photographers. So I did that, and then one of those photographers employed me. I'd bought a camera when I was 18. I'd started to take photographs, and I was just like learning. And over the next 10 years, I just mastered this craft, but I never left my job because I worked for the one studio in my country, the best studio in my country. So there was nowhere to go, nowhere to grow. And 30 years old, all my girlfriends have a champagne party to celebrate buying their first homes, and I'm earning $400 a week.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, they all have great jobs and careers, and their careers were getting better and bigger, and their salaries were getting bigger. Mm-hmm. And I had the best job of everybody. I was a photographer and an artist, and I got nothing. I just scraped by. And then it was that moment that I thought, I'm never going to buy a house. I'm going to be this artist that can never survive. And this is what every artist is faced with, is how do I monetize myself? And that's the journey, and that's where it started, right? The real journey started.
The real journey started in that moment.
I will always be an artist. I was born an artist. My mother is an artist. My sister is an artist. My family are makers, creators. We sculpt, we paint, we build, we do. I grew up in this world of people that make things, and none of us were rich because we make things and we just take enough, and that was it. I was like, oh yeah, you can be creative, but you cannot be financially independent.
Oh gosh, that is, there's a lot to unpack with that, because I have this very strong belief that living a creative life also can mean that you are abundantly wealthy.
It is the only way to live. You just have to learn how to value it enough to ask for the equal exchange of money and value within that balance and living that life, because creation energy is the only energy that you build from, live from, create from, and love from.
It's our life force.
Doubt.
It is our life force and everything. So, okay, I have so many questions around this. And the first being, for anyone who's listening to this podcast today and is thinking, what Sue just said is really landing with me. I want to be a wealthy artist, and I am struggling right now. Mm-hmm. What were some of the steps that you took to really command value and to be able to charge what people say you're worth? How did you create value in exchange for?
Okay. Imagine for a moment, if you're listening, that I'm interviewing you, mm-hmm. and I'm asking you questions about your business. Do you love your brand? Is the first question I'm going to ask. And I don't wait for any required response. I can see it instantly in the energy around your body, your aura, the way you just breathed in, the way you semi-smiled as soon as I said it, the way you softened your lids when I said the words, because I can tell already you are in alignment with what that is. Are you in alignment with your products? Let's put each one on the table. Is it worth that? Can you say the price out loud, or does it make you feel deeply uncomfortable? Do you get cotton mouth? Are you connected to this product? How do you use it? Share it? How do you love it? How do other people use it? How do other people share it? Do they love it? And I can tell by the way that you're looking at me whether or not you love and connect to this product. Have you got the message right? Do you know how to sell that? Do you know how to speak about it with value? Could you say it in a way that all of your cells just come comes alive because you fully believe in the value of it. I do. This is called alignment. Do you feel that alignment with your product? Can you say that money? Do you ask for money? Is there a margin in there for you? Have you asked for more? Do you know when you sell this product for $300 that you're really only going to keep probably $85 of it? Have you considered this?
Yes.
Have you built yourself into the margin of this business? Let me feel the money around you. And then once I start to get to there, I'm really at the point where I've asked you, do you love it? Do you think it's valuable? Can you sell it? Are the words connected? Are you saying it right? Does it feel like yours? Or are you just stuck in the I can't because? And one of those things is stopping you from finding your fullest value and stepping into your fullest power. And those are the questions I ask first, because your body doesn't lie. And I know for a fact that when people start talking, they cannot stay in their authentic self when they're lying to themselves. And I connect to you first. And if you don't love it, you don't believe in it, you don't have a margin for it, and you don't value it, well, my friend, you're going to have a really hard time sharing it with value.
So good. For a second there, I'm like, are you talking to me, Sue?
I'm talking to everyone.
No, more than anything, I think I just this last year, I've gone through such a massive reinvention with myself and really evaluating, what is the value that I deliver, and
now that I don't deliver it that way, what is the way and where do I find my value in the new way? The thing is, reinvention is such a great word, but it's also a little incorrect. If you think about it, you're not reinventing yourself. You're evolving.
Yes.
You were Tracy Matthews. You're still Tracy Matthews. This is the evolution of Tracy Matthews. I think reinvention sometimes makes us feel like I have to start again. There is no starting again. I burned a path. I burned it wide and hard, and I walked it, and I left my mark, and it left its mark on me. I will never reinvent myself. I'm an evolution of my brand. My product is an evolution. My content is an evolution. My soul is evolving. My audience is evolving. People have followed me for 15 years and will tell me that. Other people will say, I just found you. It's a constant evolution of what people need and if they're connected and resonating with you. So to me, evolution had to be the bigger word. Darwin said, it is not the strongest that survive. It is the one that is most adaptable to change. And I read that in when I was 28, and I thought I just have to be adaptable. I have to be so adaptable in my business that I keep evolving. And I really had that in my conscious. That was something that was really important to me.
Well, it reminds me also of that quote, change is the only thing that you can count on, or change is the only constant in life, because things are always going to be changing, right? And as we're evolving. And it's interesting because the thing that really landed with me is for this past year, as we've been trying to figure out what to do with one of my companies. And I'm sitting here saying, am I aligned with this company anymore in the way that it's being run, in all of these things? The answer was no.
Not what I want.
It's not what I want.
But it's still an entity that makes money, and it is an entity on its own.
Yes.
Like a teenager going to college.
Exactly. So we're sending the teenager off to
college.
And now the coaches are running the business, which is great. And it's...
So what you're really saying is you pulled your alignment out. That business can stay in alignment if it stays true to the core value of that business.
Exactly.
And the name to it.
Exactly. Which has been great. And the other thing too that I think is really, I think of so many of my friends and so many of the people that I mentor who really have a hard time charging their value. And I've worked with them so hard on this. There's one person that comes to mind, but I'm not going to say her name, where she is one of the most incredible one of the most incredible artists that I've ever seen. She's also a photographer, and she has a heart. She's like, why isn't anyone buying this? And I'm like, because you are not confident in your pricing structure. What you're charging, I don't even think is expensive.
Yeah, because you're not selling it.
Yeah, exactly. But the photos that she does are so beautiful. It's just the most amazing work.
Most people that I coach believe that if their work got better, the work would sell themselves.
No, you have to sell yourself. Let's talk about selling yourself because this is really important.
Let's talk about it. Let's look at the umbrella that is marketing.
Yes.
Marketing is advertising, PR, public relations. That is what? Networking. It's all of those things. Marketing is every kind of connection, business to business, everything that you can do. Selling is none of those things. Selling is not marketing. Selling is not brand awareness. Selling is not networking. All of those things you do when you're up there giving is not selling. Selling is when you bring somebody to a yes or no.
Yes.
So you could walk up to my table and spend the entire day looking at it, and I could just sit there thinking, my work is beautiful, it should be selling. But never once did I say, did you prefer this one or would you prefer this one?
Exactly.
Or would you like to take this one today?
Exactly.
Because if I said that to you and you said no, I can put it down and you didn't buy it. But if you said yes, I just sold it, and you don't realize you didn't ask the question. That comes down to asking for more. That's nothing else. So I was like, okay, you don't ask the question because you have a fear of rejection. Okay. Get over it quick. You're getting rejected and you've got nothing.
Yeah.
That's the best part about being an artist. You're going to get rejected all the time, but guess what? You're already broke.
But this is part of life. Rejection is just part of life.
It is. It's
You're rejected every single day.
Yeah.
People say no to you. Why is it different if it's your art?
Exactly right. But you made it. You made it with your hands.
Yes.
So it sucks.
Yes.
Right? But then your mother told you it was the best thing that's ever been made, so you're confused. Because you really think you're brilliant. And you do, because you think you're brilliant, because you spend all this time and creative energy being like, look how creative and brilliant I am, and then you make it and you're like, I'm brilliant, and then nobody buys it and you're like, I suck. And it's so confusing. And the truth is you never actually asked anybody if they wanted to buy it. You never asked anybody if they valued it. You never asked anybody to give it, to share it, or you never asked for work. And you didn't ask. And what do you think? Somebody's going to come and make your business better? Just because I woke up today and I thought, I'm going to go and make that Tracy Matthews business just better. I'm going to go and spend money with her. And I'm going to just promote her and do stuff. And hopefully I'll get equal exchange of value. You get up there and get out there and share it, right? So that to me is the whole artist mentality is I'm so brilliant and I suck, and you are brilliant and you do suck, and someone will always tell you suck, and someone will always tell you you're brilliant. Hoo-ha, we only care about the people that want the products that buy them, because those are the people that are paying us. So yeah.
And the interesting part too is there's always going to be people who say this is too expensive, or say rude things like I can make this myself.
Yeah, then go and make it.
Yeah.
My 3-year-old could paint this. I've said that about a piece in MoMA. I'm ignorant. I don't like modern art sometimes. I'm like, seriously, my 3-year-old niece could actually paint this. But art is subjective, right? And that's the value. The best way to describe it is this. There's a movie with Uma Thurman, and I think it's Joe Maniago, and he's a mob hitman.
Yes.
And she's an art curator in a gallery in New York, and they decide to, launder money.
Okay, yes.
He starts painting these horrible paintings.
Reminds me of Mobland.
And she sells them for millions of dollars, and they're obviously laundering the money. And when she first shows him this gallery of work, obviously they're walking up to pieces that are quite bizarre or whatever, and they get to this interesting piece, and she tells the story of the piece, and he's listening to the story of the piece, and then he turns to her and he said, I wouldn't have known that had you not told me. And she said, it's not your story.
Exactly.
You're watching a story. It's a story. That's art. That's somebody's story, and that's valuable, so valuable to someone, and it's open to interpretation, but that is the artist's interpretation. And when I saw that, I thought, that is incredible. That's art. So if you cannot get paid for your art, then just come to this simple truth. Go and get a 9 to 5.
Exactly. If you can't make it work. Yep. The one thing
That's your option.
It is your option.
I swear to God.
It is.
There's no other option. Live as an artist, or be a valuable artist, or go and get a 9 to 5. But
this is true.
There's no torturing yourself.
I want to thank you for saying this.
Go and deliver pizza.
I feel like sometimes some of the most talented artists that I see have the hard, literally nervous breakdowns when they have to go and sell their art. I just really don't understand it.
So my sister, I'm a creator. She's an artist. My sister is one of the foremost illustrators ever seen in my life. Unbelievable. Doesn't make any money doing it. You know, I have to force her to make money. Okay, I realize there's two types of people. There's the creator that will learn how to sell because they have to. I still don't love selling, but I do it.
You got to do it.
Yeah, I like money.
Yeah.
Money, more options. And also the people that will never sell their work. But if she sells at a gallery, she's giving 40% commission. That's a sales commission. So you can get other people to sell your work.
Yes.
That's not a problem,
Yes.
but you will be paying
40% commission.
40 to 60%, you'll be paying for it. I can license online content of anybody that teaches classes, but I'll take 50% of the revenue and I'll market it and sell it for you. And so if you can't market yourself, my platform would work for you because I can license content. That's no different than an art gallery or a store. Simply the percentage is taken in a different way.
Exactly. And I
So
find
get someone else to sell you.
Yeah, get someone else to sell you. Also, just expect to, this is the other thing too though, that I think is really important. We talked about brand story and I want to try to remember to circle back to that because I think that's really important. The story of the pieces, the story behind everything, because that in and of itself, if you get good at telling stories,
For sure.
can actually sell more pieces.
Absolutely.
But on the other side, it's like if you can't sell your own pieces, share the story of what it is, and you expect someone else to sell them, they don't necessarily, especially sometimes I feel like in this age of having things consigned and there's no skin in the game, there's no reason why they need to sell them or move the inventory. And so there's no, like, I don't know, that for me, this makes me think of one of my friends who's an artist. Her name's Ashley Longshore. She's a famous artist from New Orleans. She is crazy. Like her art is like nuts. It's very pop arty, but she decided a long time ago that she was going to take a different path, create this crazy pop art that was just so outlandish sometimes, but like not necessarily go the gallery route. And she is flying around on private jets right now because she's just like selling to celebrities and all of the people, and has really just made a brand being audacious.
No.
And I think the amazing part about that is that we can all, I think, step into and embody that energy if we really wanted to.
Imagine that she didn't probably start that audacious.
No, she didn't.
And imagine that was always inside her and that everybody else was telling her to be more pastel.
Exactly.
And inside was an audaciousness that was just... And if you see and create in color like that and you're not living that full truth, I think when people create the full truth in their content, so I feel really similar with when I sell workshops that hit really big. I would be doing the sales, watching the sales go up and doing the refresh button because it's exciting when you launch something to watch the money flow.
It's so fun.
But I realized it's not the money that's giving me that feeling. What it is, it's the connection that people are connecting with the content I've created. So if people...
It's the value exchange.
There. And so if people are resonating with her art, they truly see that value, and that was what her soul wanted to create. That's when you get an artist in their financial flow. Because they're creating what they truly want to create, not what somebody's telling them will make money. And there's a big difference between that. I want to create what truly I want, and often I'll look at social media and think my audience wants something different from me. If I do what I think my audience wants, it never works.
This is true because it has to come from you.
It's got to be authentic.
Right. It has to come from you.
Yeah.
I want to take a little bit of a pivot right now and talk a little bit about the difference between building a personal brand versus building a business.
Yeah.
And what is your take on that?
Well, if you build a personal brand, it's about you. And I built a business in 2000, my first business in 2003, and I called it You, because the tagline was, it's all about you. That's how much I didn't want to make it about me. But inevitably what I did was then built a company, but a company that was never going to make more than $500 to $1 million in annual turnover. So the margin there for me was 50 grand a salary, and I'm working way too hard managing 8 people. So I simply created a business that was never going to scale up for a bigger salary for me, and I called it a name instead of my name, and I put a business partner, I gave a business partner equity and for nothing, and I had staff that I would put out in front of me, because it was more important that it wasn't about me. And I didn't want it to be about me. And also 2003 in New Zealand, I don't believe the opportunity for me to be a personal brand was really there.
Right.
Even though people were asking, are you going to call it your name? And I say, why would I do that?
Right.
At the back of my head, I thought, I'm going to sell this one day. So there was another reason I didn't call it my name, because I thought, I'm going to sell this. And so when I exited that business in 2009, after the global financial crisis, I moved to Australia, left my business with my business partner. I went to Australia and started my personal brand. The difference between a business and a personal brand is extraordinary. If you have a company right now, create your personal brand in parallel.
Yes.
You have a look at all the big names, Alex Cooper, Call Her Daddy, Girl, Boss Babe, all of them. They're all building their personal brand in tandem on their Instagram and matching their audiences, like 3 million. So it's like people are following them personally and following the brand. Now, if that brand sells, they're still the center of that brand, but this personal brand, this name, this person, who you are, is at the center of it. And this has really changed in the last decade. And ultimately, I became Sue Bryce. I never made more money in my life than being just me. Yes. And without paying all those people. It is a lesson in not putting people in front of you or even beside you. So many women start businesses with partnerships that fail because they don't believe they can do it on their own. And I've seen so many business partners go to all the big names and Google their partnership story, and you'll hear the partnership
I have
story
one.
on all of them. I do too, but I got out in the first million. I wasn't stupid.
Yes.
Because I learned something, and what I learned was women don't go to the toilet on their own. Right? They take a friend. It's like security. It's like a voice of reason. It's like girl power, and we hold our friend's hand and we say, girlfriend, we can do this. And we should not be doing that. Because you make a $5 pie and you give away half of it. But what happens when that pie's worth $50 million and this person has not contributed at all? And I went through a lot of the resentment, right? Because you go through a lot of resentment in breaking up with a partnership. The resentment, I had to really go to what did this person truly shift in me and give me during this time, and that I never saw that in myself, and forgive myself for that and forgive them too. I mean, I let that go, but I really learned that I should have always done this on my own. I should have built a personal brand from the beginning. I should have believed in myself enough to put my name on the door. I should have made it about me, not about them. I should have made it about what I wanted, my mastery, my balance, and my wages. And I put everybody else before me. And inevitably, it sucked my will to live.
It also probably sucked your creativity dry.
I wasn't creative. During that period of time, I was running a business for other people. I stopped even photographing and to let the people I trained do it. I stopped doing the 3 things that I loved. Within a year, I wanted to die. I actually told my business partner, I think I'm going to die. And she goes like, literally? And I said, I don't know, but if I don't leave, I know it's coming to an end. This is all coming to an end. I can't, my soul does not want this, and I'm just trapped. And then I moved.
I feel that so much, and on so many levels at different times in my life, because after the great financial crisis in 2008 and 9, I had to close my business. I filed for bankruptcy because of all the aftermath of the stores not paying for their inventory and all the things. But my confidence was a little bit shattered. You know, I had started a new jewelry company by that point. It was thriving already. It was doing great because I learned so many lessons in the process.
You know how to sell.
And I know how to sell. I love selling. I love selling because I love exchanging the value that I deliver and getting paid for that, you know? And so, but I did bring on a business partner and a co-founder but the one thing that I didn't do was, it wasn't a traditional partnership in the sense, but I think initially we thought it was going to be. I just didn't have the confidence in myself. Like, I think my confidence had been shattered with losing that first business, that I thought, oh, if I bring on someone else, they'll balance out the parts of the business that I don't want to do.
I know all of this.
And what it ended up doing was making it more work.
Yeah, way harder work for half the money.
And I love my co-founder. She was so great, or is so great still. And we decided at a certain point.
Oh, you were lucky.
That we're still friends. That it would be best for her, because she can't keep up with my pace, to move on and support people in a different way, and the direction that I wanted to take the company in was a different thing. And so
it's like a marriage. You have to talk about the exit, you have to talk about the divorce, and you'll fight over money, and you will fight over growth, and you will fight over trading time.
Exactly.
Just like new parents do. Like, you know, when you have kids and it's like, what do you mean you're going to golf? Same thing. It's the same. Those are the things you fight over as business partners. So you've got to have an exit plan. You've got to have the same. And I've said this to multiple partnerships who have sat in front of me and said, no, this is going to work. And I'm just like, okay, where you go. Good luck with that.
Get an investor, hire someone to work for you.
Yeah.
Like, I think people do it also because I was mentoring or coaching one of my students recently, and he's leaving corporate and starting this thing. He wanted to bring his best buddy, and they have the best time. And I could see, even on our initial meeting, I'm like, this guy's the one who's really passionate about this. This guy's the one who's coming on for the ride.
Right along.
And it was like a 95-5% split. And I was just like, and he was boxing me about this, and I was just told him,
why?
Cut the ties now. You haven't really started yet.
Yeah.
Like, this is not going to work. And they were able to have a clean break. And he's like, you know what, you should
Sometimes that partner's a hype person.
Yes. That's what I said.
That's what I've seen.
Why don't you just have them call them and be like, I need some.
Why don't you pay for coaching?
Yeah.
If they hype you in a way that makes you feel good, then have reoccurring revenue. You can also give people percentage revenue without giving equity.
Exactly.
And now debt equity. If you grow and there's debt equity in your business, that will turn off any form of funding coming towards or money coming towards.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because they won't invest in anything with debt equity. They'll be like, there's 25% of debt equity. That's not bringing this business anything. You gave that away in the early stages when you weren't worth anything.
Right. So tell me, why did you bring on an equity partner?
Because I didn't have anything to offer other than 50% of my business, you know.
Oh my God.
It's what you do when you don't see the value in what you built. It's what you do.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because one of the opportunities that I had, one of the options that I was weighing on was a business partnership that would eventually, they would help me sell the company, but they were going to come in, do some sweat equity for 50% of the company. And we're looking at this, and the company actually needed some money and all this stuff. And we're looking at it, and Jason's like, I don't think this is a good deal for you. And I'm like,
No.
It doesn't feel like a good deal for me, but I just want someone to take it over because I don't necessarily want the brand to die. It just can't be taking all of my creative energy anymore. And so I turned it down, which was the best thing that in hindsight, I was so glad that I did this because the opportunity just wasn't the right thing for me at the time. And even though like the promise of selling for 10 million or whatever it was sounded really amazing, it just, in my gut, I knew.
With my second business, I built it for the first year, and I got my income to 1.4 in personal income for my first ever personal brand year.
Yes.
And that year, my business platform was really growing fast. I gave away 50% of equity in my second business to a growth team.
Okay, let's talk about that. How did that go?
3 partners, they were all men, and their focus was growth. So when they came on board...
They were in charge of it.
Yeah, I was at 1.4, and almost 333,000 was coming from online content. So I was at 1.1 on the platform for my first complete year, and they came in second year and 6x my business.
Wow.
So
is that what blew up your brand?
Yeah. Well, it was blowing up, and I had lots of followers and everything,
Yeah.
but I was only just establishing my online platform at the time, so I was running it by myself with one part-time assistant. So I got to that income just on my own, and I just thought this could be a lot bigger. And unfortunately, like every part of my life, I build something and then I go, this could be 10 times bigger. That's the moment I don't want to be in the business anymore. I'm really good at building, but I will just keep building, and I should have stopped both times. There was a time...
Interesting.
Yeah, I get boxed in. I build around me, right? And then I can't get out. So it's like, ugh. So selling the second business, I was like, was so incredible, but I won't get boxed in again. And again, personal brands don't really require that you get boxed in.
So what was the decision, what was the deciding factor that you wanted to sell? Because you had to license your name, you decided to sell this business, and when you Google Sue Bryce photography, it pops up.
Yep. I had 28,000 people go through my program in 7 years. It sold for 8 figures. It was an incredible exit. It was 8 months of due diligence. It was really an incredible experience to watch a business grow a business and watch it be sold. I maintained 50% equity right up until the day I sold it. So it was always about getting my share, and I was going to burn it down.
You were?
Yeah.
How
7-year
come?
creative cycle. Every 7 years.
Are you a 7 on the Enneagram too?
I don't know. I haven't done my Enneagram, but every 7 years is a creative cycle.
I feel the same thing.
And I've been a photographer for 35 years now. There's a lot of 7-year cycles in it, right?
Yes.
So I've just come to the end of one, and every 7 years I've literally changed my career in a way. And even when I do the timeline, I challenge
so
you to do it right now. Even when I was in a job for 10 years, I stopped doing something after 7 and started doing something else, and then moved. Every creative cycle was 7 years. I had done this from 2010 until 2021. I had 10 years under my belt. I was perimenopausal, in the throes of menopause. And, not everyone is going to do menopause hard. I did. Really hard. Not now, on the other side.
Thank goodness.
Hallelujah. But I was going to set it on fire and just burn it down. I didn't care. COVID was just a lot, and I was not in a place. And it just happened. It was a fluke. Somebody rang us and said, "Are you for sale?" In the middle of COVID in the first year, my husband was like, "Everyone's for sale."
What's the number?
We laughed. Yeah, it took 8 months.
It's so great.
Yeah.
It's really interesting that you're pointing out this 7-year cycle, because I'm doing the math in my head. 7 years was right around the time when I said to Robin, I think it's time for us to split up. And because I wanted to go in a different direction. And then we're at another 7 years after that, and I'm stepping away.
Yep. There you go.
It's really interesting.
I know. And it's been very distinct. When I write it out, I'm like, oh my gosh. And not so much the jobs I've had, but the creative plug-in where I was creatively at the time is definitely evolved.
7 years into my business is when I moved from San Francisco to New York City to make it big.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear that. Is that why they call it the 7-year itch when you're married?
Probably. There's a book about it. 7-year creative cycle. There's actually a book. Apparently it's been written. I have not read it. So
okay.
Well, look at what it is.
So from the moment I met you, we met at Lindsay Marie's Expanders Retreat. You were coaching everyone in the room. So how has coaching and empowering other artists been part of your creative journey?
I think I've always I do it. That's what I do. So I can't stop doing it. I didn't even see it as coaching. I always I'm so interested in how people make money and how they have a business and what their business is. But I'm more interested in when people start talking about their business. I get really excited by the energy exchange in terms of how connected they are to their path. So that's where I kind of exist as the most thrilling. I heard once that when you go to a party, if somebody says, "Do you have children?" they have children.
Yes.
Okay, so they ask you about their highest value. And so if somebody says, well, I don't ask, "Do you have children?" I say, "What do you do, Tracy?" Right? Which can be offensive in some cultures. But, right?
I ask the same question because I don't have children.
I don't have children. Yes. So what you do is more attuned to what I'm interested in, right? People are so selfish. So I'm aware of that. So I was always kind of like, and you're amazing
at that. So if you were going to leave the audience today with just one final message, and they're kind of on their creative path and wanting to, really step into not only being paid very well for what they're doing, but living this creative life, what would you say?
Work on your personal brand, which is yourself. Right, it's the messaging, it's the forward face, it's your connection to this brand, how it looks, what you say, who you're connected to. Work on that first so that you feel good about who you are, so you can just put yourself out there really authentically. Then work on your products one by one. Make sure that they have a margin in there for you. Make sure that there are sales systems around them so that when people do want them, that they can actually spend money with you, and that it starts and creates a system of momentum to get money into your business. Thirdly, I would say once you've worked out your messaging, once you've worked out your marketing, once you've started to work out your sales systems, you've got to focus solely really on just how valuable you are and how valuable these products are. How do you use them? How do they solve problems? What do they do for people? How do people share them? Why do they use them? Why did you do it? Who are you and why? And once you connect to all of that, you start to just feel more like you're not being a fraud, or more like stupid imposter syndrome. And I don't even know what imposter syndrome is. Imposter syndrome is when you are comparing yourself to too many other people. Because,
exactly, comparisonitis.
yeah, that's what it is. It's like, look at you comparing yourself to everybody else and feeling like an imposter. Because when you actually truly just do what you do and give from a place of joy and love, which you do when you start out and you're creatively connected, then you just connect to people and they see and feel the value. So enough with the comparison and truly just the really finding the value. And then I guess when you said about coaching, it is so who I am, that how could I not follow the path of my highest calling? So follow your highest calling. If you coach, coach. If you teach, teach. If you speak, speak. If you sing, sing. If you paint, paint. Like if you write, write. And write every day. And write. And focus more instead of comparison. Focus on, I love me. I love my brand. I love my products. Because, see, I have goosebumps.
I love
this. This is such a truth for me that when I feel that authenticity, I know it is palpable and it radiates through my products and everything about me. So if I could change an artist's value, it would be to see your value. And then when I say see your value, I'm not talking about your artist's ego.
So good.
Do you know what the most valuable thing in the world is? What you like. You. So when people say, what's my purpose? You are. But what's my purpose? You are. You're the purpose. But what is my purpose? Oh my gosh. How would you like me to send this to you? You're the purpose. You're not here to find yourself. You're here to create yourself. You're the purpose. You're here to actually create what you want for yourself. So create a vision for it and then just walk towards it every day. Speak it into truth. Really connect the heart to it so you know you want this.
Right.
You know you want it more than anything.
Yes.
Walk towards it. You know, action is where the identity is actually formed, not in the vision. And then do it every day. You know, like paint every day, speak every day, sing, whatever you do, you must do it every day and fully embrace the creative art and aspect of it. And then you start to see what's valuable is not other people validating my work. What's valuable is I live as an artist. I live in creation. Here's where we get it wrong. You think it's about creativity. It's not. Creativity, if you say creativity to a non-illustrator or a non-drawer, they'll go, I'm not really creative. I kind of like crafting. No. Everybody is a master creator. You are a creator.
1,000%.
You're not creative. You know, that's what we call Sally, who's good at drawing. She's so creative, our Sally. You know, yes, you're a creator. You're a master creator. You're a manifester. You bring life to, you bring everything, you make manifest. You bring everything to manifestation. So you are a master creator. You're already attracting everything in your life because you've already, what you've got right now is what you believe you're worth. And so you are a creator. So stop saying creativity. Stop saying artist. Go into creation mode. And this is the most powerful thing you will learn. Creation is the opposite to competition. There is no competition in the creator's room. There is no competitor to you in this room because this room is pure creation. It exists on its own without competition. If you see competition in this room, you're not in the creator's room. You're in the ego room and you're back to comparison again. So if you're truly an artist, if you truly want to live as an artist, live as an artist, create as an artist, live in your creation. That is so powerful. And if you can do that and live in your creation in this way, then it will translate into everybody wanting what you create because that energy is everything that people want.
I think I need to change the name of the podcast to Creators Rule the World.
Is it called Creatives?
Yes.
You do.
Which is so funny. And also, you just inspired me to change my signature talk. You don't even know this about me, but the signature talk that I have is about how everyone is creative.
Yeah.
Because, you know, someone who's doing like this complex spreadsheet has to figure out where the formulas go.
Yeah, numbers.
Right?
So creative.
Versus like an engineer who's figuring out where the beams go so the building doesn't
My
collapse.
brother built this building, 16 like townhouses in one building. Okay, it was a squash court that they sold, and he basically worked out how to build 16 apartments inside an already existing building.
Wow.
So he shows me the blueprints, and it's just blue and lines, and I'm like, okay. And he's walking me through it, and it's half built, and I look at the plans, and I go, but how do you read this bit and then make this bit into like this bit. And he goes, well, I can see it.
Yeah. This is the crazy thing. It's like when you're in your
he's
genius.
He's an artist. My brother is a builder, and he's a creator. Like, he can see it. Like, it's just like the Queen's Gambit to him. And I was like, you're a creator. You build buildings with your hands.
I know.
Yeah.
My final question was what does creativity mean to you? But I think you just answered that.
It means life. I was going to say it means money, because I know the correlation between when I'm in creation energy, I'm making money. It's life. Creation is life. I don't want to be in competition with anybody. Wallace Wattles is my favorite book from 1935.
I love that book. I know exactly what you're talking about.
The Science of Getting Rich, and my favorite Wallace Wattles quote is, I am here to create. I am not here to compete for what is already created. And that's it. Create, create. You know, live like an artist. Sell like you want to live like an artist. And that's something that I think is, because an artist can live, you know, just live and create. So you need to sell enough so you can just live and create.
I love this.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to have like 75 quote cards out of this episode. So thank you so much for being here. Where can everyone find you?
SueBryce.com. Because I'm a personal brand.
Yes, you are.
I mean, you know, I called myself so many things over the years, and at the end of the day, I'm my God-given name. Let's just go with that. So you'll find me at SueBryce.com and Sue Bryce Photographer on Instagram.
Okay, amazing. I'm going to have you back. Are you good with that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much.
Thank you.